This item came from Virginia. Then it went on its shipping route to Tennessee. Then it went to Massachusetts. Then it went to Connecticut. And then finally ended up here in Pennsylvania. That's a long trip, you know. That's a lot of states to go through. That's wacky. You know, you would think from Virginia it would just come straight up to Pennsylvania. This is a Depression era, 1930 to be exact, Pulver. Now there are parts missing from this machine, but the bulk of it is there. Look at that. Don't you love that sound? The mechanism is free. That's awesome. That is so cool. As rusty as it is. Hasn't been oiled in years. It's free. Spring is broken. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. This rod connects to a post, a curved post that's supposed to come up through the machine and connect to a police figure that was sculpted out of, well, I think they used plaster back then. But he's missing, but that's no problem. This was definitely an outdoor machine. This has been there and back. It has definitely been a long road with this machine. Check this out. Magnet, that would be the slug rejector. You put a piece of metal in there trying to fool the machine. It'd say, no dice. Inside of the machine's not too bad. Missing the lock. Missing what was called the screen. It looked like kind of like bars. So in case you wanted to break the glass, you couldn't get at the gum. Gum cup is original. Color looks good. This is all original, man. Completely untouched up. I have to do a little bit of work on this. I have to, in order to preserve it. I'm gonna strip it. I'm gonna prime it. I'm gonna paint it. I'm gonna do whatever kind of metal work I need to do. Bend things back into shape. Have to fabricate a bar for the policeman to stand on. The policeman stood right here. And my daughter, Darian, is actually gonna sculpt a new policeman. They do reproduce them. They cast them from the original, but we're gonna get artsy on this. Even though the spring is broken, I'm still gonna try to make it cycle. Yep, it's alive. Took the mechanism outside today to hit it with some PB Blaster. Not exactly the mechanism that I'm aiming the PB at. It's the little screws and things, just to make it a little easier to take it apart. I have to get that coin box off so that I can get at the clockwork. There's a couple of tabs holding the coin box on. There's one here that I need to bend up. Get that out of the way. Oh, then there's another one right there. I think I'm gonna start just taking screws out before I bend those tabs up, because these pieces of metal here on both sides, they're kind of in the way. And I want full access so that I can get the best leverage to carefully bend up those tabs. Take the coin box off. It's nice when things cooperate. Whoa! Look how that spring expanded there. It's just pushing up on the top. Not the best situation. Okay, the tower is off. That was a nightmare. I gotta show you this. Donor clock. This is a nice clock. This is a project I had laying around. And I'm going to take the spring from the chime mechanism on this. Look at that. Boy, that's fun. It's a shame to steal from Peter to pay Paul, but you know what? I'm not doing anything with this anyway, and you gotta do what you gotta do, they say. This is a lot of work, you know? Tell you what, that PB blaster is doing its work. I knew that nut was going to be gone forever. That's what happens. It falls, but then it's never, you know, it fell right here. Here, why is it way over here? Good. This has some really nice springs. It's not old. 70s probably. 70s. I never suggest taking a clock apart that's spring driven because the spring can expand and send gears all over the place, send something into your eye, cut you up. Oh man, it's bad. But if you are going to take one apart, always secure the springs with a hose clamp. You have to make sure when you take these clockworks apart that you document them exactly the direction everything is set while it's together. If you don't do that and you try to put it back together again, things are going to be out of line. It's not going to work. I'll just be using a mixture of water and vinegar to clean the clock parts. No special cleaners, no chemicals, all natural. I'm not looking to make them shine like gold. I just want them to be clean and still maybe retain some of that patina. I have 4 screws here that are not budging. I've been hitting them with the lubricant and they will not give, so I am going to drill them out. I hate to do it, but they have to go. Oh, gotta get a bite on it, you know. Super! When I do coin-op restoration, I always like to start with the mechanism first, and then I move on to the cosmetic stuff. 2 times paint and primer, that's what I need. Now I need red. That's nice, right? Well, that was fun getting spray paint and wire wheels now. Treated myself to a couple of nice new wire wheels. Actually, my wife bought them for me, but that's the way it goes. Down the stairs with my little bag, go to my little area. Gotta make it all clean so that it could be clean, you know? Smells just like cleaning up old car parts, actually. I'm gonna start using some steel wool on this before I start in with any kind of harsh paint strippers. There's only a little bit of paint left on these parts anyway. So I'm hoping that the steel wool will take care of that. Let's find a spot here. Right there's a good spot to start. Before I start dipping into the orange paint stripper. What's it called? Speedy Orange, Fast Orange, Citrus Strip. That's the stuff. Yeah, it's coming right off. That's a good sign. Nice! Forgot to take this part apart here. This has a little spring in it. So I want to make sure we keep track of that spring. How it works. Boy, that's crazy, man. That's it. I'm thoroughly drying all of the parts with a heat gun. It's the best way to do it. That way you can get in all the little cracks and all the little nooks. Got a couple of pieces here that decided they needed to be difficult. They didn't want to give themselves up to little Alfred today. Some paint left behind, so I'm going to have to use the Fast Orange. Why do I keep calling it Fast Orange? Citrus Strip. Fast Orange. Fast Orange is for your hands. You don't want to use this on your hands. For anyone who's familiar with the stop and go cop mechanism for the Palmer machines, you know you have the little post here that would have the little stop and go sign on there, and the cop would stand there and he would turn it back and forth. So this shaft needs to spin freely on this bracket, which it's bent and not moving, so I have to fix that somehow, right? I already tried light machine oil on there, so now I have to break out the big guns and go with some PB Blaster. I hate to do that because it stinks! Now I'm going to try with the channel locks and a screwdriver to see if I can get some motion out of this thing. You know? Now I'm working on carefully bending the post back into position. Good. So now I have the dilemma of, well, there's PB Blaster on there, and I have to paint this part today. So I have this cute little container, and I put some baking soda in there to absorb it. So the citrus strip is working. I knew it would. There used to be a label up here in this section. It said this side for Joy Mint Gum only. And that was what was giving me most of the problems. Whatever sticky residue is there, mingling with the old paint, it's just stubborn. This is why I like to avoid the paint strippers. What a mess, man. Alright, that's enough. Throw some baking soda on it, for crying out loud. Time to make some noise with my new wire wheel. I really love my wire wheel, There's been some things that I had to use pliers on to bend them back into shape. You know, they're a little warbly. So this I'm just going to put in this book here. And just tap it. So what? It's 33 degrees outside, not the ideal temperature to be painting out here. A little bit breezy too, that's not great. So I got my paint sitting in some warm water. I'll warm up the surface of the metal and then I'll hit it. Let's see if we can't get a piece of Bazooki out of there. Oh, we can. Officer Casey. Right?
He's up, he's down, he's all around. Such a miserable man. Out of town.